Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another 3D Hangouts. My name is Noah Ruiz. I'm a designer here at Adafruit, and joining me every week is my brother Pedro.
Good morning everybody, I'm Pedro Ruiz, Creative Tech here at Adafruit, and every week we're here to share 3D printed projects featuring electronics from Adafruit.
That's right, this is a show where we combine 3D printing and DIY electronics to make inspirational projects. Hello everybody, we're hanging out in the Discord chat room. If you'd like to participate during the live stream, that's a great way to say hello, get your comments in. Any questions as well we'll be answering throughout the show. We're going to start off with some of the housekeeping stuff. So we'll start off with the CircuitPython newsletter. Meeting.
And newsletter.
And newsletter. But let me start with the meeting. It happens every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. It's a great way to check in with the core devs and the community to see what everybody is working on. You can join by signing up to the Discord server, which is discord.gg/Adafruit, and you can hang out in the CircuitPython chat room. We are indeed hanging out in the Discord chat room, so hello everybody.
Virtual high fives and waves to everybody hanging out in the Discord. We got Mark, we got Blitz City DIY.
Liz, good morning. Andy Calloway, good morning. Matambale. Good morning.
Steve Wheeler on the YouTube chat. We're also on the Facebook stream as well, on Twitch, and I believe on LinkedIn. So thank you all for joining us this morning and every morning.
Yes. Going back into the housekeeping, Adafruit Daily is still going on. So check out adafruitdaily.com for a daily dose of newsletters. You can subscribe to all the different categories like 3D printing, biohacking, maker business, Python on hardware, and more. So check that out, adafruitdaily.com. You are not automatically subscribed to it. It is something you have to opt into, so check it out if you are interested. The other newsletter is the once-a-week newsletter. This is the new newsletter, and that one's going to be available at adafruit.com/newsletter. It's a good way to get a rundown of all the new products that are added to the shop on the weekly. Okay, now we're going to check in on the Black Lives Matter page on Adafruit. Just give you guys some updates on all the different happenings. June, it is now July, but for the month of June it was Pride Month, and there are several blog posts and series highlighting key roles of Black transgender women in the riots. You can check out all the different posts that Adafruit has been doing. Another one is we talked about this last week. Adafruit joins the Stop Hate for Profit campaign, calling all companies to pull their ads from Facebook to let them know that we are not happy with them. So check it out. More and more companies are joining. I think this morning we saw folks like the Lego Group. What was the other one?
Sesame Street.
Sesame Street has pulled their ads as well, and this is a good way to kind of let them know, hey, y'all have some social responsibilities and y'all need to listen. So check out the campaign, and we'll keep you guys updated on more occurrences. And let me scroll down to go to the next one. I think it's actually up here. Here we go. Adafruit is going to the movies. So Adafruit is kind of helping out Mongolia Pictures. They are working on releasing a new documentary of John Lewis. John Lewis he's been through quite a bit. He's a legendary civil rights activist. He has been to thousands of protests. He's had 45 arrests. He's been over in Congress for over 30 years. And this documentary takes a look at his life and his legacy. So check it out. Adafruit has purchased over 100 on-demand tickets. So all of the team members in Adafruit will be able to watch tomorrow, or it's 2 days from now, yeah. So the 3rd of July.
Check out the trailer too, it's freaking awesome.
Yeah, it's quite inspirational. So check it out. We also have a subpage here at blog post, adafruit.com/goodtrouble. So you can check that out. And that is just some of the stuff that is happening. I think there was one more bit about some technical documents. There's a resolution for changing the way that the SPI, the serial peripheral interface, pins are labeled in hardware and in data sheets. So you can check out the page from the Open Source Hardware Association, or also known as OSHWA, you can check out their page too to see some of the things that they are suggesting. Some deprecated names here, and then some stuff. So check it out. Those are, like I said, just some of the things that are going on. But with that, I think we can safely go into this week's project.
Quickly saying additional shout outs to the people in the chat rooms. We got Joseph Alfonso in the YouTube chat, as well as just missed it, Teleputer hanging out in the Discord as well, and Chris Strode on Facebook.
I just have to say, this coffee is so cold. My goodness, this
Immediately
is different. Yeah.
gets cold.
I might want to put it behind my iMac to heat it up. What do you think?
I can hear the fans all the way from back here.
The fans are chooching. Let me double check to make sure the stream's all going.
No, it's good.
I think so. I'm stalling as well. Okay.
Let's go ahead and jump into this week's project.
This week's project is actually somewhat of a collaboration. Shout out to Dylan Harada, who's on the CircuitPython team. He put together this project. It is pretty much his first kind of learn guide. That's all him. So he is quite a fan of cycling and bicycles in general. So this project takes the circuit playground, uses the built-in accelerometer to make an automatic brake light.
Oh, I actually got to correct you on that one. This is probably his second one. His first one was the Clue-based Piloton project.
True. This is the first one that he did all himself. Like, nobody kind of helped him on it. Piloton had some helping hands with Kattni and whatnot. Just to verify. Okay. Yeah, this is like all Dylan. Shout out Dylan.
This is a very awesome one based on the Circuit Playground Bluefruit. It can detect when the bike stops and it'll start glowing. If I can get it to go. Stop. There you go.
Yeah.
And it blinks when it detects that your bike has stopped.
Right.
So this is using Circuit Playground Bluefruit with all its built-in sensors like the accelerometer. It's varying some values, so you can it can sense when you've stopped moving.
Yeah, you can change up the colors if you want something other than red. You can even use different animations if you like. It doesn't have to be the Bluefruit. You could also use the Express, as it's not really using the Bluetooth connectivity, but if you have the Bluefruit, it should fit. So Dylan put together a 3D printed mount for his bicycle, which if you are a cyclist, you'll know that some of the bike have these two bars that are underneath the bike seat. The bike that we have is more of like a BMX style bike, so we figured, hey, let's kind of rework the mount so that it fits our bike, which is a little bit different than like your bike that you would use for cycling, like racing. This is more of like BMX type bike. So this little doohickey here is it a two-piece or a one-piece?
No, it's all one piece. This attaches to the seat post or stem. I think it's called post. Okay. And you can adjust the diameters for that. We're using an M5 screw to attach it. And then a really good idea that Dylan had was adding this nice little pocket that is built into the entire mount. So you can have this little pocket slide in there. We usually do this with NinjaFlex, but it works excellent with just regular PLA. And then he had a slide switch, so I decided to just incorporate into the design itself. We're using a couple of the camera tripod mounts, so we can have a nice secure connection. We're using the 3/4 to 1/4-20 adapter, and then the 1/4-20 to 1/4-20 adapter for the Circuit Playground Express. We're using the polycarbonate clear case, which includes the 1/4-20 adapter on there. Yeah. You can have a 20-20 adapter that'll securely hold on to that guy, and then onto the printed part. Like so. So not just for camera bits, but also holding a lot of your 3D printed gear. Nice little way to do that. Nice secure way to do that.
Yeah. And we have quite an assortment of these tripod bits in the shop. So if we take a quick look, we can search for just tripod, and all the different screws will show up. So this is what we use quite a bit. This is a 3/8 to a 1/4-20. 1/4-20 is like your standard screw size for tripods. We also have D-rings, some other little bits here. And here is that 1/4-20 to 1/4-20 screw adapter. So that's the one we're using. We're using this one and this one here, the 3/8 to a 1/4-20.
So anytime you want to assemble a couple of pieces, we do have a bunch of these in stock. So you can create your own sort of Lego type, build your own contraptions for holding not only cameras, but a lot of electronic projects that we like to work on.
Yep, and the case, like you said, is polycarbonate, designed by Mike Dole. This is injection molded, and it features that heat-setted threading for the tripod screw. It's a really nice case. It's pretty tough. It will fit either the Express or the Bluefruit version of the Circuit Playground. And Pedro has it here. Which camera would you like? This one? Yeah, that one. So you can see here, it gives you access to all the little touchpads by breaking out those little finger webbings. You have some additional actuators to enable the slide switch and those buttons there.
And you have access to adding some alligator clips.
Yeah.
You can continue to prototype in that way and still have it be nice and protected.
Yep, snap fits, so you don't need any screws to hold it together, but you could have full use screws, I suppose. And yeah, it's a really nice case, and I think we'll consider using more of it, as it's a great way to keep it nice and safe, and it just looks awesome, all clear and stiff. Polycarbonate, you can probably smash it on the floor and it'll be nice and strong.
Yeah. So as you were saying before, it is a fully one-piece 3D printed part. No support material on there because of all the drafting angles that I used on the bottom pieces here. Only one little part that could use supports, but the blowers on the printer was good enough to have a nice, not too much of an overhang. You can kind of see a little small overhang there, but otherwise, I just added 5 top layers to make sure that it had enough. I know, bad color choice, having like a fluorescent yellow.
Well, just like you can see my hand covers some of that highlight there, so you can see it better.
It's a nice simple little guy here. We're using a nice thin but strong walls on there, so you still have the ability to bend that back to get it onto your seat post.
If folks want to print this out and want a reliable part, we would suggest using some PETG filament as opposed to just your typical PLA. PLA is what we've used here, but we don't tend to go biking every single day, so we think this would be fine.
I mean, this survived in like 100 degree
We're just throwing it out there. We like PETG, we just don't have a lot of it because we just have more PLA, so there's that.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into the Learn Guide for this.
Okay, we'll quickly kind of browse through it, as most of it is setting up the CircuitPython libraries and things. So,
and here you can see the first option that Dylan made.
Yep,
this is meant to attach to the little bars underneath the seat, as shown in the picture there.
Yeah, so we'll kind of run through it. There's a nice page that just kind of walks you updating your version of CircuitPython to the latest. You always want to do that as we try to keep all the guides up to date with the latest version of CircuitPython. It's fairly simple and easy to do so, so we always recommend doing that. Some handy screenshots. Same page, but for the Circuit Playground Bluefruit. It's really nice and thorough, so we want to make sure that folks are taken care of when they're walking through and setting up their boards with CircuitPython. Here's the 3D printing part of it. This is showing Dylan's design here, and he's got a couple things set up here. You can edit it on Tinkercad if you'd like, and then here's the second option here, Pedro's design. It shows some slice settings and some links to download STLs and the source file, so you can change it up. Let's say you wanted to use a bigger battery. You could adjust the sketches in whatever CAD package you'd like, whether it's like Fusion 360 or even Tinkercad. You can edit those models if you so choose. Cool. Any other stuff out of the 3D printing page you'd like to mention?
Let's see. If you go over to the overhead, I did need to use the.
This is a great
3/4.
3/8. This is a 3/8 size tapping tool, and this even though you've modeled the threads in there, right?
Yeah.
It's still super good to run through a nice pass with a actual screw tap and really dive in there and create those threads, which is great because there's always some little bit of expansion going on with the tolerances. When
A little bit of
being printed.
overhang that
Yeah.
might droop over. This just has
Exactly.
a nice way of cleaning out all of your threads. Didn't really require it for the M5 thread, since the screw that you're
okay.
adding in there does a good job of cleaning that up. But because this is can be a little bit difficult to attach on there, the 3/4 to quarter 20. I'm sorry, 3/8 to quarter
Yes,
20. I've been
3/8.
saying 3/4 this whole time. 3/8 to quarter 20. A little difficult to add on there. This having a nice clean thread inside will ensure an easier mounting.
This was right on there too. I've also been meaning to get an actual handle for this guy because we use like a wrench, but yeah, it is indeed a 3/8-16. The 16 is like, I guess, the size of the thread pitch here. So pick one of those up if you haven't already. I forget where I got this one from, but they should be readily available online in your local. Oh, maybe you don't want to go to your local store. Maybe not that. Definitely get it online. Yeah. Cool. So that's a good tip there. Definitely get a screw tap and tap your threads. Even though they're already threaded, you might want to run through there and really clean it up because the overhangs, tend to mess with your threads. Good tip. Glad you mentioned that. Okay.
And then,
Assembly.
as you've already stated, you've already gone out. The sketches are in there, so you can adjust any of the parameters for this.
Yeah.
It's on the timeline. Easy to edit.
Cool. All right. Assembly walks through both assemblies, I suppose.
Yes.
We're going through Dylan's version, which just uses that single M5 screw. Or is it a quarter 20 bolt? Yeah, I guess it is a quarter 20. Cool. So he's using quarter 20 for everything. Excellent. And that goes through the back and into the back of the Circuit Playground case. So you can see it here, all nice and assembled. Sweet. Dylan kind of made his own switch, JST adapter switch with a rocker switch, so it's a little bit more chunkier and more satisfying to click, in my opinion.
A little bit more easier to reach back there than I think the
Sure.
smaller slide switch that we used.
Yeah. Okay.
And then scrolling down, you can see design option 2, and then just assembly of some of the things we just talked about. The main point here is slicing JST cable and then splice that into a slide switch. You can make your own on and off switch.
Yeah, this is great because of course you could do it to the battery itself, but then you're cutting the battery, and maybe you don't want to do that. So this is a nice approach here. And the slide switch's press fits into the little holder. It's got little walls and things to keep it in place without any glue to secure it down, so that's always nice.
And then you can see the small tabs on the slide switch itself, those little end tabs on each side of it. You can pull those apart.
Flare those out. That way you have a little bit more tightness.
Increase the tolerance.
Yeah.
Increase the tolerances on that, or you can push it inwards to decrease the tolerances. Nice little springy effect on that. So you can make sure that they fit nice and snug.
Nice. All right, and then this gets installed.
Nice, super easy way to screw that onto there, and then it just fits over the seat post. Adjust that up and down to your liking, and then fasten the M5 bolt on there to hold it in place.
You don't even need a hex nut because the thread's already on the other side.
Yeah.
Which is great. Funny enough, our bike had like a built-in reflector, and it had a very similar.
I just copied the design from it.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. And that's really the project. Definitely fun to ride your bike.
My legs hurt from doing all
Does
that.
does it? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for doing that.
You can check out the CircuitPython page. You want to do some edits to that. He has a whole code walkthrough and breakdown, all the libraries you need, and then he walks through some of the commented code inside of there. You can see how this is working under the hood.
Yeah, really good use of the accelerometer and the Circuit Playground library. So you can check it out, adjust whatever you like. And he runs through the code here. And there's lots of comments, which is always nice to see. So if you'd like to contribute, add more to it, you can always create a pull request in the GitHub repo. You can get access to it by clicking on this button here that says View on GitHub, or you can download the project zip, which includes the code file and any assets that might be associated with it. But this one, I don't think there's any assets, just the code. And then there's a usage page. Kind of gives you a little bit more story behind how the behavior is working, and some final thoughts.
Yeah, some speed bumps and rough terrain will activate it a little bit, and he talks about the timing and how all that goes into play for activating the blinking effects on it.
Yes.
And you can adjust that.
Works best on paved roads and smoother trails. Does not work well on mountain bike trails and rough terrains, like you said. Okay, just reading through it.
One thing that I was really impressed with the LEDs on this, as you can see in the video, it was bright daylight, and you were still able to see how bright these were, so you should be able to get some attention when you're riding this on the road. Cars should be able to visually see this. As you can see in the video, it was pretty freaking bright.
Right, and he actually did some battery testing for the 500 milliamp battery. You get about 1.5 hours of usage, so that's pretty good. You may want to consider bringing extra batteries, or Velcro a AA battery pack of sorts under your seat. It might be a little bit safer too. Not have to worry about those batteries popping.
As always, you can get all the design files on learn.adafruit.com. They're on Thingiverse as well.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, looks like we have stuff in stock. So if you are in need of the circuit playgrounds, we have those in stock, and we're getting more batteries in as well. But at this time, we have circuit playgrounds. So if you want to get some more of those, please pick those up. Also, don't forget, we have a special offer with the circuit playgrounds right now. Yeah. If you buy one, we'll give one away to the organization of Black Girls Code.
So if you're looking for ways to help, this is definitely one, really good one to give circuit playgrounds to those in need. And
we're almost reaching our goal here of 100 donated boards. We're at 84, wow. So we really appreciate you folks buying those out and supporting Black Girls Who Code.
Yeah, awesome. Excellent cause.
Sweet. All right, folks. I think that does this week's project.
Yay.
Need a ball and throw it in the...
Go ahead and check out what we're prototyping.
What are you prototyping? Yeah, so I really enjoy this project from Carter. A couple weeks ago, Carter published this Learn Guide. It's a CircuitPython project that uses the well, they're not mini, they're LED matrices. He's using the small, they're small, they're the 1.2 8x8 LED matrices, and using the new Feather Sense with the NRF52840 Bluetooth chip. So again, it's CircuitPython, and it's using the built-in accelerometer to create this really sweet digital hourglass where the little LEDs behave as if they were little grains of sand. And as you rotate the build, the little LEDs will follow along with, as if they were really being affected by gravity. What an interesting explanation. But check it out. This is already a published guide. And it's a really good use of the accelerometer. I'm trying to collect my thoughts here. For the build, I like that it's easy to build. It uses an cardboard from an Adafruit box, and he walks through how you can assemble it. So if you aren't 3D printing, you can still build this project with cardboard. So I like to see that. So I was inspired by a post I saw on Twitter of a Arduino-based project that did something similar, where they designed a really sweet hourglass, and I'll be sure to link to that when we get to publishing this Learn Guide. There it is. So I put together this case of an hourglass-looking shape. So you have some spindles here that have some really sweet curves, and the two LEDs. So these are the mini. Gosh, I forgot the size, but they're the mini style of these LED backpacks. The ones that Carter were using are actually these guys here, which are far bigger. These are far bigger. So you can see the mini versus the mini versus the small, because these are labeled as small. but they're still 8x8, and they use the same chipset and driver and library, so you can swap those out if you'd like to make a bigger style version of it. But a lot of snap fits are going on here. This is kind of the prototype design. In the back, we got our little slide switch, and we have a hole here for the USB port, so we can reprogram and recharge the battery. The snap fits, as I just did there. Here's the feather sense. It is mounted without any screws. It's using these little tabs that hold it down in place. They also press fit and snap fit. The battery here is a little 400 milliamp battery. That's ideal for the feathers. So you have some nice playtime there. And the switch is very similar to the switch that Pedro put together. It just snap fits in there. And I am using some ribbon cable. I'm actually using the QT connector. I think they're called QT stemma connectors. That way I can put this inside this case that snap fits also, and it has a hole here on the bottom, and I'm able to assemble it much easier, so I can disconnect this and kind of take it apart. There's 3 screws here that hold the spindle to this top cover, and there's 3 more screws up here as well that will keep it all kind of taut and tight together. It's a symmetrical design, so it doesn't matter which order any of this goes, other than these guys. They do have particular things, but I am still kind of tweaking the code a little bit. It might be a little bit over my head because there is some stuff in the code that you can do to rotate the orientations of the axes, and I'm just not fully understanding how to do it right. So I'm just going to do my best to kind of give you a demo of it. And it's super bright. The camera is blowing it out, but there's no refresh, there's no blinking in real life. It's just the camera picking that up. But as I rotate this, you'll see that it is being affected there. And again, I'm just, kind of tweaking the various axes to kind of because it is mounted differently. Instead of it being mounted up like this, like it is in the guide, it's down on the bottom here. So I have to flip some things and do some negatives or something. But as far as the case is concerned, I think it's ready I have to coil this up here. There's a little bit of room there for the cabling to fit in there. So I'm just gonna line up this spot here. I did have to kind of create a special edge here so that all this is flat. I plan to do a tutorial on this because it is interesting shape and it's modular. So I'll be probably doing that, and I just like the way this looks like a peanut. Haha. Yeah, lots of revolves to make these fun shapes and lots of uses of the snaps. So I think it's a pretty neat project. Yeah, I really like that the feather sense has all the built-in stuff, not just an accelerometer, but there's also a temperature, humidity sensor, I think a built-in microphone, lots of good stuff. So that just makes our projects much more compact and less wiring, which is great. Yeah, I really like that.
Yeah, it used to be breakout board on top of breakout board on top of breakout board.
Let's say you want a trinket, then you need to do LiPo charging, so you get the LiPo backpack.
So you got the D20 project.
Right, and then you want the breakout board for the accelerometer, so you add that. Maybe your thing doesn't have enough flash. Oh, you need to add flash now, so it can. The feather is great. It's got all the things in there built in, and it's a really great one. And we're not even using Bluetooth here, and you could totally do this with some Bluetooth stuff. Yeah, so it's pretty neat. And
I posted the link to the original project if you want to check out Carter's iteration of it. Don't need a printer, just need some cardboard. And he walks through all the steps on there, measuring everything nice and neat. You
do need a DigiKey ruler. That is definitely a required thing. You need a DigiKey ruler to
measure,
score.
Right?
Yeah, you got to measure. Why not get a nice PCB ruler from DigiKey? It's really cool. Really neat. So check it out. The wiring diagram's here as well. So you're all good there. It's using I2C, and you'll just need to jumper one of the matrices to change the address of the matrice. Yeah, very cool. Nice work, Carter. And here's the code here already available on GitHub. So if you want to build it, it's using the LSM6DS accelerometer library for CircuitPython. Yeah. Here's where I'm like having trouble right here under the while true, the loop. It's like rotate the coordinates. I'm like, what? I tried all these different combinations and it's just I can't get it. I will stick to design for now.
The sands of time tell me it's time to get 3D printing, says Mr. Certainly. Andy Calloway, progress
Peanut?
might trickle through.
It's fun. fun. Yeah, Peanut. That's great. Thanks, Liz. So yeah, that's what we're prototyping. There is some progress being made on the robot solenoid drummer project.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna skip that one though because it's gonna take up a lot of desk space, and you know we'll have more stuff. The LED Matrix Hourglass will be next week's project, so we might as well show it now and then dive more deep into the assembly once next week rolls around. I'm working on the build assembly, and I'm in a pretty good spot there, so I'll pick up the rest of the drum stuff because there's a lot of moving parts.
Literally.
Yeah. All right. We do have a small segment for Shop Talk. It's kind of a community make, but we're going to call it a Shop Talk.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to do the Panavise. So I saw this show up in the, that's community makes. So I just saw this speed wheel for our Panavise. Panavise is a really nice little PCB vise, or just a vise in general for holding things. Let's say you wanted to hold this, for example. And this is the piece that allows you to kind of really just spin this thing open as fast as you can. I've seen a design before, and I've printed it before, but tolerances are always difficult to do, so this one just pops off. It's not a super quick print, but it's small, and it'll fit on just about any 3D printer. No supports, it's just a flat thing. It's got some nice thickness here on the wall, so it's not floppy. And it just press fits onto the thumb screw here. Without it, it's kind of hard to, you can't, you know what I mean? Like it's, I don't know. I just like this little addition that just snaps in there and just gives you more flexibility to get that, just to open this. So I think it was a nice little
Yeah, it's one of the most annoying things, going from something small to a bigger size board.
Right, and it takes forever to spin, right? Yeah. So let's say I wanted to prop that up, and then you can use this guy here to just tighten up and change the position however you'd like. It doesn't seem to get in the way of anything as well, so I'm just leaving it on there. We got a thing for gold right now. You got a lot of gold filament, so we've been playing with that.
Well, super cheap.
Yeah. And we have these Panavises in the shop. We recommend using them for soldering and bigger stuff as well. So let me see if I can pull up the PID for that. I think they're in stock right now. Yeah, it looks like we have them in stock. And we've had some bigger ones too that have like a crank. That'd be interesting to do, make a crank for it. But yeah, that's there it is, holding a protoboard. And it is by Z-Rex on Prusa printers. So if you want to download it and try it out for yourself, hit up the website. I have that link in the description of this video after the show is public. I'm gonna add that in there.
Posted it in the chat rooms, so you can check it out.
Yeah. Well said. Seat suddenly with a little pressure, no fasteners, snaps, or glue required. Yeah, it's just a simple part. So I thought that was neat, and I printed it, and it worked. So I thought I'd share it with you. Cool.
And on the same theme of PCB holders, we have this week's Time-Lapse Tuesday Community Make.
Let's see the
This
video.
is an awesome print and place spring by Turbo
Sunshine.
On a roll with all of these 3D printed spring loaded parts. This is one to hold your PCB. I think it's pretty cool. Looks like a little alien. Where's my camera? There you go. And it can hold onto your PCB. It has these nice little grooves on there, so you can hold on all along this area. And it does a pretty good job of just holding onto, at a nice angle, your PCBs. So this all prints, as you saw, with no supports.
Wow.
Completely vertical.
This is the flat side, I'm going to assume.
Yeah. And here's the spring action. You got these two bars on each end that's holding it in place. And it just slides across. So if you guys remember, was it last week or 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago.
We did
the pole handle is very similar, or the
Is
spring
the
box
exact
is
same
really Turbo Sunshine's first design on using this, where it was a spring-loaded box, like, the lid of the box. So very, very similar type of gear and spring in the center. And you double that up, and you can make yourself a PCB device.
Yeah, I really love the look of this, the functionality. I like these little grooves on it, so you can have your fingers actuate.
Yeah, no assembly required. It is printed as is.
Yeah.
It's just mighty impressive use of just 3D printing and design.
Yeah, I really like how all these draft angles made it really good for no supports. So like you were saying, it prints flat like that and prints all the way up. Very nice.
All right, we'll take a quick look at the post on Thingiverse by Turbo Sunshine. Be sure to check out his video. You can subscribe to his channel too, as he is releasing videos and content all
really
together.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Yeah, he
Nice little way
added
to
it to a
adapt
different
this.
clamp.
That's new. I did not see that before.
Here it is holding an Uno, I think, an Arduino board. Here's the spring in action there, and he also did some other fun stuff. So check it out. It's free to download. There's 2 versions of it, one with a GoPro style knuckle and another one with like a built-in foot thing. So that is excellent. You can check out his video here as well. Print in Place. Check him out.
These are excellent. He's on a roll for these excellent designs.
Sweet.
Got Liz asking what filament this is. This is the light green from Melt Ink. I don't believe that I think it's been discontinued. Like on our last spool of this. No, we don't have it.
We don't have it, yeah.
I
don't
think
think
Melt
we ever
Ink
carried it.
got dissolved.
Perhaps,
I don't know who
we're
else
not
makes
sure.
this.
Yeah, sorry, but it is fluorescent. It's very...
It's like a lime fluorescent green.
Yeah, it's very poppy.
Yeah. I actually used up the very last bit of this
Did
on
you?
the case. Yeah.
So this is the last you'll see of this filament. Sorry.
I don't know where else to get it. It's kind of sad when manufacturer goes out of business or a color stops being produced.
So we tend not to say, like, get the filament here or
That's
whatever.
why.
You're just going to have to, yeah. Okay, good question, though. Good.
Oh, there was more. I completely forgot what they all were. Oh, just good comments. The claw.
Ciao. Yeah, that's some tension there.
And then Mr. Certainly saying, yep, get the vise.
The Panavise, yeah. Yeah, this is nice threaded and, you know, got the grooves in there. And this has been with us a little bit. There's supposed to be like a cap here, but it fell off or something. But yeah, cool. PCB devices. Tools are great, aren't they? Okay. The last bit, we did do a layer by layer. It's been a little bit, but we got a layer by layer out last week. I think it was on Thursday. And it's taking a look at designing how we designed the arcade style stand for the Pi Portal. This was a collab project with Liz. She coded up the example to make a guitar tuner on the Pi Portal. So the idea was to make a stand that would hold the Pi Portal vertically. We do have some stands, but they're mostly designed for a horizontal type position. And the cool thing about this design is it's being driven with one sketch. So there's 2 pieces to it. There's the PCB plate that kind of uses standoffs to secure the mounting tabs that are on the Pi Portal. And then this kind of arcade style frame that is bolted to the side tabs that are on there. So I thought it'd be a fun experiment to redesign it with just one sketch so that I can adjust the various parameters or really sketch dimensions so that you can really tweak the whole look and feel of it with just one sketch and a couple of changes to those diameters there, those sizes, those dimensions. And yeah, that was pretty neat, and all optimized for 3D printing. So check that out. It is on the Layer by Layer playlist on the Adafruit YouTube channel, and there's a blog post as well. And if you want to pick up any of the Pi Portals or download the 3D model of the Pi Portal to make your own, I have links there as well, and we have a GitHub repo for all the 3D printed parts or 3D modeled parts that we put together. Fun.
now on a hunt for this lime green. Looks
Oh,
like we got
that's
a couple of contenders here. We got one from Philocube. Looks kind of close.
How about that for
And
like
then Sol Utech.
Let's see if I get the doggo on camera. But yeah, Paige is looking so you can find some.
I like these prices too.
The greenery is what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's something about this
I think
one
the
that's
Philocube
special.
might be close,
Yeah,
since
'cause
it's
it's
the
like
yellowish,
this-
greenish.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of the Taz Lulzbot color.
Yes.
They were very heavily on
Yes.
that color. Maybe they have it. Sweet.
They might have it, yeah. Taz.
Cool.
I think that's actually why Meltink released a bunch of the colors that way.
Okay. Excellent.
All right, I think we are nearing the end of the show.
But that's not all. Later tonight, be sure to join us for Show and Tell. This is the world's largest show and tell gathering. It is an hour long, and it starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. It happens every Wednesday. Tonight we'll have, I think, special host John Park will be hosting tonight. Perhaps if all things
so,
go well,
yeah.
I think it'll work that way. But be sure to tune in after as well at 8 p.m. tonight Eastern Time. Lamar and Phil will be doing a full hour of Ask an Engineer, or maybe even more. They tend to go overtime now. And they'll be talking about new products, different events that are going on, new products,
All the news.
all
that's
the all
going
the
around.
segments that are in there. There's lots of stuff going on there.
Yeah,
And then
lots
at
of
the end
sneak peek
is
stuff.
the
New products.
new products, and then Circuit Python on news hardware video by Katney. That's where it debuts. Yeah. Every Tuesday at 3 p.m., John Park is hitting up the Make Code Live series. That's like a full hour of the Make Code Power Hour.
Yeah.
So be sure to turn in. It happened yesterday and every week at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. I finally got the artwork here in the thing. And then on Thursday, more John Park. We got at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, it's John Park's workshop where he goes over his guide, current projects he's working on. Same shop talk style segments, answering questions and all in the Discord chat room. So be sure to tune in every Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time.
Since we're on the subject of John Park, definitely check out adabox.com if you want to check out any openings for any subscriptions. Might be some openings.
Let's see what's opening.
Definitely want to make sure you're subscribed to that.
Yeah. Okay.
Should be shipping fairly
I
soon.
think so. Yeah, I think they'll have they'll have something to talk about it tonight. They meaning Lauren, Phil, and Mr. and Mrs. Lady.
So definitely stay tuned for all those.
Yeah.
Gotta go in the garage, start filming some promos for that. So I'm about
Well
to
said.
be nice and sweaty. Ugh.
Ugh. All right. Well, this is 3D Hangouts. We do the show every Wednesday at 11 a.m. And I don't know what else to say there. We're
think
hanging
that's all
out in the
there is.
Discord chat room.
Yeah, we'll be in there if
Thank
you
you
guys
so
want to add us any questions. I think one of the recent ones was on the YouTube comments on the if I can make follow-up videos for this week's Time-Lapse Tuesday. There was like a lot of stringing going on, and they were like, "Oh, what temperatures did you adjust? Was it retraction?"
Yeah, how did you
no,
fix this up?
I had to get a new Bowden tube. I had to get a new Z probe. I
Okay,
had to
Bowden tube,
update
Z probe.
the nozzle on it.
Some wiring needed to be redone.
I had to redo the way that the Z rods, because they're like, I don't have backlash screws on it, so I had to like
Ooh.
re-level both to make sure that they were
Interesting.
even.
Okay.
So I wish it was just settings, but
Right. It definitely comes down to just maintenance and
Yeah.
swapping out some parts that might
it's
be
been
faulty.
like a year and a half since
right.
any of those
Yeah.
have been looked at. So yeah,
You've clocked thousands of hours on this
man,
printer.
these helmets take like 5 days to print.
Thousands
So
of
yeah.
hours. So you might need to change.
So
a
that's
couple
why
things.
I can't really go over
Right.
any of that, because it's a lot of hardware that needed to be switched out.
You did capture on your snaps the
Just
whole
some
process.
code,
So
yeah.
you'll put together
I'll
an
put that.
edit, and we'll share about that
I'll share about it
next week.
Yeah. But that's why I can't really make a follow-up video to that. That's
Right.
a lot of time wasted on just showing that instead of a project.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. We wouldn't have had the project done this
No.
week.
How funny, huh?
You got to pick and choose your balance.
We have a question from TV. How cool is it working with your brother? I've lost count of how many companies we've
Yeah.
worked at. Every single company we've worked at, we usually work together.
I do need to appreciate it more. So yeah, I really do appreciate it. So it's
I lost count.
yeah.
Like over 10 companies
funny.
we've both
Like,
worked at
there's
together.
There's just no room for.
I think
for
Apple
BS
and was the only company that they didn't let us, like they don't let family members work
that's
together.
Right.
And what was the other one?
That didn't let us work.
Yeah,
together?
they had like a no family policy
I
where you
guess
can't
it
work
was-
with your family
yeah, I
members
guess it
or
was just
something.
the Apple retail back in 2007 or whatever.
No,
Even
2002?
before that,
2003.
yeah. You're right. The iPhone hadn't come out yet.
Yeah.
And you had your Pocket PC with like all your mods on it, and you had to like clear the memory every week. It was fun.
Remember that? You had to
Yeah, the
defrag your
Pocket
computer,
PC.
you had to defrag your phone
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
All
Quite
right.
fun.
I think that's
Where,
it for
how did
this
we
week.
get there? Yeah, it's very fun. It's very cool working with your sibling. Yeah. Audio's
well-
out of sync. Oh no.
No, it's fixed.
Okay.
Right, so that's it for this week. Tune in later tonight for all the shows to continue on.
Mm-hmm.
And follow us on all the socials up there. We post frequently on what we're working on. And the Adafruit one as well.
Excellent. All right, we're just killing time at this point.
All right, guys. See you
We'll
later
see
tonight.
you next time. Don't forget to stay safe, stay healthy,
And make a great day.
A great day.
See you tonight.
Bye, folks.